Today I have the legend himself who has nothing to prove. He puts out his numbers, his strategy, his complete growth plan with everyone. He's someone who has, in a very transparent way, set up a massive empire from 0 to 8 figures. An absolute inspiration for budding entrepreneurs. Julian, thank you for joining us today. What are you up to these days?
These days, just scaling the agency, creating a lot of content and case studies about AI, and also growing our Skool community. We've been going deep into Skool this year and just won the Skool games last quarter. So just trying to build on that, build more momentum.
Amazing. What's a day like in Julian Goldie's life?
It's always changing, right? So it depends what the seasonal focus is and what the constraint is in the business. Honestly, if I go back the last couple of years, really since my brand grew, if I go back 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, like nobody knew me. You know, you go back to 2023, early then, it was a lot of deep work. Wake up super early, spend the whole day working, and then maybe do something lifestyle-wise 7 days a week. So it was kind of like that. But the last couple of months, what I've tried to do is blend lifestyle with work. And then even if you go and do something interesting, well, actually you can get content for that. You can use it for thinking sessions and it blends in perfectly with your lifestyle. So you can actually go outside. So that's quite nice, like leaving the house. For example, today I'll give you a typical rundown. Woke up at 4:30 in the morning, did a live stream from 5 till 7 a.m. After that, did some cardio. I usually do like a thinking session. Also do some cardio. From there, personal assistant came and we planned out some stuff that we're going to do together for the day, and also started working on my quarterly goals. From there, to the gym, built an affiliate marketing system this afternoon for the Skool group. So super excited about that. And then I'm here with you now.
Is there any specific mindset change that shot up growth for you?
Yeah, 100%. So there was a point in the agency where we were making like 100K a month and I had a whole team in place. I didn't need to work anymore. I'd work an hour a day at that point. I was like, this is fine. Okay, 100K a month, super profitable, whole team in place. I don't need to work. And I kind of felt like I made it. And it was a terrible mistake because actually when you do that, unless you're very, very good at systems and creating sellable businesses, your growth either completely stagnates or it drops. Now, there's some people out there watching this are great at building businesses and systems and, everything grows without them, which is amazing. But for 99% of people that I've met, 99% of entrepreneurs, that doesn't happen. They typically stagnate. And so I switched my mindset from working the minimum to how can I max out the work that I do, the outputs that I get, and just do whatever is required to grow the business. And that was really the mindset switch that I had.
Did you come to a point where you were feeling burned out, like pushing the limits as well?
I never really felt burned out, but I think like you get to a point where, for example, like this year, there's been so much growth that it can be painful sometimes, right? That's why they call it growing pains. So for example, that might be like, you're quite lonely because you spent like 16 hours all day working behind a laptop, right? Or you say no to your friends. All your mates are going out on a Saturday night and you're like, nah, I'm going to stay at home, grind it out, grow whatever I need to grow and just do whatever's required. There's some situations like that are super painful. And I'll be honest, like there are times where it's super intense, like you're right on the edge of your own sanity. But at the same time, I think you have to go to those dark places. And for me, when I look back, I don't feel that pain. I feel like pride of what I've achieved and how hard I've worked this year.
Do you think most entrepreneurs have to grind like that where you need to reach certain stage first and then you can start, balancing out your social life and other things? Or do you think balance has to be right from start? What's your take? How do you handle that?
I've been thinking about that a lot recently as well. And I think the best way that I can figure out how to do it, not really balance. I wouldn't say balance. You blend whatever you're doing in your life with work so that you can be productive all the time. So like even if I go to the gym or even if I go to Muay Thai, well, I'm getting like content and clips and content that I can post across social media that will get me more traffic, more attention, more money. And so even if I'm going out to see my mates, I get the content that's going to grow the business anyway. And so for me, that helps a lot. And stuff like that, it can build your status. Like if you look at someone like a Mangadzi, he just films a lot of the stuff when he's out of the house. Same with Jack Hopkins. He's a really good example of that too. So that's the way that I look at it. I don't think there's anything like balance. If I look at the people that I aspire to learn from, I wouldn't say be like, but to learn from, like when I interviewed Neil Patel this year, Alex Hormozy, I've learned a lot from, Alex Becker. These are all like crazy intense people that just go 100% in and don't have any balance. So I think it's one of those where you just try and find a way to be productive, but have fun along the way and make it all work.
When you're working 12, 15 hours, you do reach a point where you're not able to, come up with fresh ideas. So how do you keep a fresh mindset, focus and high productivity as well?
Yeah, so for mindsets, I'm always trying to learn I'll spend at least an hour a day learning. And so I'm always bringing in fresh ideas, new perspectives, always trying to challenge myself and my beliefs and my skill sets. So that really helps a lot. And then also having a group of friends. I know we have very similar friends, like a lot of our circles overlap. And so being surrounded by people who are passionate about what they're doing, growing the business, then when you're talking with them, when you go to the ice bath with them, whatever it is, you're still talking about business. It is kind of still work, but you're doing it in a way where you feel fun and you feel refreshed, you feel energized. And then also for me, I track every single task that I work on, how much time it takes, how much money it makes me, but then most importantly, whether it drains or improves my energy. And if I see that it's draining my energy, right, that task needs to go, right? We need to get a virtual assistant doing that, or we need to get a manager on that, but it's not going to be me. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah.
Journaling itself every day takes a lot of discipline and focus. Were you always like that, or did you build yourself up to this?
Build myself up to it, yeah. I was never like this. When I was younger, very disorganized, always late. I mean, I think, you can see the guitar behind me. I think stuff like learning the guitar when you're like 14, that changes your discipline a lot. Going to the gym, like training with a personal trainer the last 4 years, that really taught me like, okay, this is what discipline is. This is how hard you have to push in the gym, let alone in business. And so those sort of things help me a lot. I know you got mindset training as well with Itamar Marani. He helped me a lot with some of the limiting beliefs and some of the things that were capping my growth as well. And so that helped. I would say I was not like this at all. It's something you can learn and just improve and build upon.
Let's get into business side of things. How do you do your research now? I know you're heavy into automations and utilizing a massive amount of AI power. So what's your strategy of staying up to date with the latest news, updates, and doing the best possible research?
I try and simplify it as much as possible and like make it as time efficient as possible. So there's two ways that I look at this. Number one is through Twitter. Twitter is great because literally at the top of the algorithm, it knows I'm super deep into AI. And so it just shows me the latest updates, the latest things that are going on. That really helps. And then also I have a list of competitors across YouTube and Twitter. It's about like a list of 30 people. I can open them up, scan it through in like 5 or 10 minutes. Boom, got the research. And then final place I would say is like we have a community. So we have the AI Profit Boardroom. And like once or twice a week, it'll be, for example, like ChatGPT Atlas came out. Okay, let's get on that right now because I know it's trending like crazy. Yeah.
Do you have teammates who do a part of research and come up with the best topics for the day that you can cover in your videos or in your content?
Yeah, so actually like the YouTube channel, if I'm doing a live stream, then I'll research the topic myself, but that's something I'm offloading at the minute. But the AI avatar videos, and we publish like 8 videos a day typically on YouTube. Those AI avatar videos, I have a team of 8 editors. They do the research on the topics with that competitor list we were talking about. They create the script, automate it, edit it, upload and publish it. And then what I'll do is I'll just quality control 1 or 2 videos a day, give them feedback. But, the 80-20 of it's done by them.
If they're using avatar videos and they come up with crappy content that goes against your branding style, it can really backfire, right? So is the initial part painful where you have to drill down your SOP so that everything is in line with your branding and marketing?
I think you kind of have to walk into it and go, okay, well, they're saving me 4 hours a day across all those videos. And so for me, if they mess up, I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to go crazy. I do have a solid SOP in place. But then also every time they make a mistake, I try and frame it as, okay, that's going to go under the list of mistakes to avoid in the SOP that they all share. So I'm glad we uncovered that because it's not going to happen again in the future.
Do you have any system where you are tracking the trending topics while you sleep? And so when you wake up, you get a list or summary of all the trending topics to give you ideas, okay, what you can cover for the day?
I had that with Lindy. I set up an automation where it would research across the web and Reddit and everywhere, all the latest topics that were popping off, what happened that day. But the problem is, and I've tested this across loads of different platforms, is it's never as good as doing it yourself. Because that AI, sometimes it takes a while to trust the news that it gets. And so what it does is it tends to default to stuff that's over the last 7 days. And you're like, no. Like, I want it today. I want it the last 4 hours or 5 hours. So in terms of time efficiency, I've just found using that competitor list is way, way faster. Because the other difference here is if you're researching topics, and this goes for anyone watching this, like you're trying to do breaking news stuff, you could use an AI, which will be trained on like data, and it might be the last 24 hours, but sometimes it gets confused. Or you can look at your competitors who are literally incentivized by money. The better their topics are, the more money they're going to make. And so you can just filter down to the top 1%, and you do it in 5 or 10 minutes. That seems to be way faster for me.
That's interesting. Yeah, because the speed of content being created within a couple of hours, let's say when Atlas came, within a couple of hours, every content creators had launched here on top features of Atlas. So, I mean, this is the whole craze of, oh, how can I be on top of everything, especially when I'm sleeping? But that's a very good point. You pointed out that there is still a lot of trust issues with AI. So the manual way of researching is still the best way, especially if you want to keep up with your brand image and you don't want to mess up.
100%. And then we also have a bunch of topics that we could talk about, but they never do well for us. So for example, coding topics on YouTube, usually terrible for us. And so like, I just tell my team, blanket, ignore those. And then also the other thing I like about looking at your competitors is they've already done the research for you. They've already put the idea out there and seen if it gets views or not. And so like, if we see a video, it might be an amazing idea, but if it doesn't get views, absolutely no point going after it.
Makes sense. Can you give us a bit about your journey from 0 to 5 figure, 5 to 6 figure, 6 to 7, 7 to 8? What were crucial changes in each of these level growth that kept pushing, like giving you the jump?
I moved out to Thailand and I was making about $400 a month, right? Back in those days, it was literally just get started. You may have 0 out of 10 skill set, but at least you'll learn and you'll get started and you'll build some momentum. So I think, anyone in that situation just literally get started. And then when it comes to, for example, making 5 figures, I felt like that was more, that was more mindset. It was more like, just charge more. Why are you charging $5 a blog post when you could be charging 100? That was literally the difference. There was a lad, I think he still lives in Chiang Mai, Lewis Parrott. I remember 100% convinced to him, telling him Upwork doesn't work. I can't get high paying clients off that. He was like, no, you need to do this, this, and this. Implemented it. Boom, went from like 1K a month to 5K a month with that advice. And we've made over $1 million on Upwork now. And so that was really just a mindset in terms of like, oh, you can charge more. You just go for it. So that was 4 figures, 5 figures already covered. When it came to making 6 figures, it was about billing. So for example, when I was making 5 figures, I had a system where I was doing all the hard work. I'm working 8 hours, 12 hours a day on stuff that's just maintenance mode. It's not growing the business like it is now. It was write a piece of copy, sell it, then spend the rest of the day chasing off after the next client. Whereas, for example, when I got into link building, you build a system, it's very, very scalable, and then you just try and pack as many clients as you can because you can get them all backlinks. And so you can go from dealing with like 1 or 2 clients to dealing with like 10, 15, 20. And so that was the big difference between like 5 and 6 figures. 7 figures, I think, was just keep pushing, keep doing more and more and more and more and more. And then eventually, I don't want to BS anyone here, so just being 100% transparent. Like for 8 figures, like we don't make like $1 million a month. We've just made 8 figures across like the history of the company. So we've made well over $10 million now, which is amazing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? And to get from like 7 figures to 8 figures, it was that mindset that I was talking about before. Whatever it takes, very, very high level of intensity, grinding out 12 hours a day, but literally like to the point where you grind it out that everything that you do has to grow the business. It has to get you more customers or make sure that you're increasing profits or keep your customers for longer. And you're only building systems. For example, this afternoon, I built an affiliate marketing system. Right now, we're creating an asset that people watch and it will get lots of views, even if I'm not working on it. Same with this morning, working on the live stream. That live stream will be repurposed into like 5 to 10 different pieces of content, and that will generate tens of thousands of views. It's really that mentality that helped me, and a million other things I probably missed off.
Is there any non-negotiable for your work where you plan out that this I'm 100% doing first, and even if there are 10 other things, an earthquake or anything happening around, if I get 1 hour to work today, that's what I'm going to implement and work on for sure?
Yeah, so I have this performance tracker where it's like a little spreadsheet, very, very simple system. And basically, it tracks like what time I wake up, how many hours I work that day, that sort of thing. But in the morning, I'll fill out like what are the top 3 things that I can control that I would be proud of today. And so, for example, when this changes season to season, quarter to quarter, but right now, that will be a live stream. It was one of them was doing the podcast with you, and then the other one was building out the affiliate marketing system. And so it's like, okay, these are the 3 things that I need to get done today that will grow the business and move us forward.
If you have to pick between growing the business versus improving the existing system of the company, which one would you pick?
That is a great question. I mean, I love to work on new things. So I work on the marketing side of the business. That's my zone of genius, I would say, right? When it comes to like improving stuff, everyone else in the company, in my company, like that's what they do. For example, like I was a retention manager who manages the account managers. He doesn't create any new systems. Literally all he does is just improve the team, training, quality control, little 1% tweaks. So just doing more of what's already working. But for me, like, I think my time is best spent as a CEO building new systems in marketing, because that's where new stuff works. If you try and do something new every day in customer service, you totally ruin your business. Same with operations. Like, you'll just break something every day.
Do you have any non-negotiables for your employees?
Like, I think I'm quite a strict boss, honestly, because I think you have to raise the standards, especially when you've got like quite a lot of people working for you. So, for example, it depends which department, but if it's sales, my non-negotiable is like, if you're not getting results, then you must use the system, right? You must use the SOP. Like, you don't have to be a robot reading the script off, but you have to stick to that framework, like very, very, very clear. And I'm going to check, and I'll hold you accountable to it, and I'll check if you're SOP compliant or not. That's like non-negotiable for me. If someone breaks that, and people have broken that, then we just can't. That's not acceptable.
How do you plan out your funnels? Over the years, you have really spread out different strategies, gathering leads and new clients with different methods. Because there's one thing of throwing out your net, but nurturing them and eventually making sure they become your clients. What's your formula of working out various funnels?
Nowadays, we try and simplify as much as possible. So it's like the overall strategy is how can we give as much value as possible, create as much goodwill as possible, so that when they're finally ready to buy, they come to us and that we're like first in mind. So that's really the funnel. And then into a tactical process, my favorite out of everything that I've done, Skool communities. A free Skool community, it's an absolute beast. If you've got an agency, you've got a SaaS tool, it's insane. And the reason for that is like, you've got a course, you've got live streams, you've got every single module upselling what you sell. You've got the email funnel, the auto DMs. You've got sellers calling these people when they put the phone number into the system. That's my funnel, because I can attack the constraint, aka warming them up to buy, in about 8 or 9 different ways. And it's an assault. It's pure aggression.
What are the key pillars of growing a successful Skool community with low churn rate?
So you're talking more on the paid side, right? Like if someone's paying for it.
But yes, because I see you also have a free community, and I'm sure it combines together the strategy, the overall ecosystem that you have created for your school. What do you think are the main things building that up?
If I have to break it down, number one is activity. We incentivize people with giveaways to post actively and to show up each day.
That's a great tip.
Let's say, for example, you're using Circle or something like that, or Twitter or LinkedIn groups. That's against you. The algorithm's working against you. It's not built for the entrepreneur, it's built for the user. Skool have kind of switched it around where it's like, it's built for you, the entrepreneur. And they've created these systems. So for example, we have a giveaway where if people do 10 activities per day, 30 days in a row, Skool automatically gives them a fire emoji. And if you show up 30 days in a row, like you've got that habit locked in. We give a prize away to every single person who earns the fire emoji. And even if people don't get it, they're slowly building up that habit to show up, and they have that intent of showing up. Whereas 99% of Skool communities, I don't know about you, but when I sign up to them, I feel zero interest in like showing up every day. I'm buy it, check it out, boom, cancel. And then there's a bunch of other tweaks as well, like tactically. So for example, creating lots of new content. Even if people don't watch it, they want to feel like they get value. Number 2 is we actually create new offers to get new people into the group for the AR Profit Boardroom. But then we're stacking bonuses inside the group so that anyone who's already in there gets another thing, every offer, another thing, right? And it builds up. And then also anyone who joins the group will auto DM to make sure that they feel cared for. But not only that, we have someone else, a manager inside the community, who will proactively reach out to them and say, hey, how's it going? If you need help with anything. And then I could go on forever about this, but also we do 5 weekly coaching calls. The reason that we do that is we just want to make it as easy as possible to get some level of value out of it. Final tip for me, one thing that we found was the number 1 cause of churn was overwhelm. So people don't know what to start, don't know what to do, and they cancel. And if you try and give too much value, they're like, this is way too much for me. Like, I can't keep. And so the way that we fix that is as soon as they join in the Start Here post, it's giving them a focus manual, right? And it says, literally, if you never want to worry about overwhelm again, you just do this, this, and this. Simple as possible. And then people love it. We've had people who message us saying, can we have a refund? I'm like, why do you want a refund? You know, like, we're happy to give it to you, but why do you want it? Oh, I feel overwhelmed. Okay, well, have you checked out the focus manual? No. Well, let me send that over to you. And then they're like, damn, this is great. Like, I don't need to refund. I want to stay in the group and give it another shot. Yeah.
That's a solid tip right there. Do you think for the paid community to run and also to keep getting new buyers, it's very important to have a free community first to feed the top of the funnel thing? Or can you run a paid community without a free one?
I don't think you need it. I don't think you need a free group. Yeah. We actually started tracking just over the last couple of weeks where our sales come from. And so we have a question inside the free Skool community that says, where did you find this community? When we actually track the number of sales that we get per day and who bought, This is crazy. 50% of them are not in any of our funnels. 50% of them just come from Skool.
Directly. That's
Yeah, just
crazy.
direct. It's crazy, man. It's like SEO for Skool. And then the way that you can just build that up is you boost your discovery ranking. So if you can get people really active with the strategies we were talking about before, for example, like the fire emoji contest, your discovery ranking goes up. No one else is thinking about this because they're too busy building a community or trying to get sales. And so if you can get up to like top 20, 50% of your sales will come from outside of your funnels. You don't even need YouTube or anything.
For the longest time, I kept thinking that you need the top of funnel free community. Even Alan Sultanik has Nothing Held Back, and then NHB Plus, and then Fast Forward. And then there are a few other, the guy who won the Skool games, Nate Hook, he has a free one and the paid ones. I always thought that you definitely need a free one to boost your paid one. But I think now that you're tracking, that's a very interesting point. And I think people, if their content and their strategy is good, can straight up start a paid one instead of worrying about a free.
Yeah, 100%. If you watch the Skool News, it's a really good channel. It's like Sam Ovens, and he's talking about, what's working for their members because they have all the data. And they were like, here's how you get sales. Step 1, post content on social media. Step 2, link from your bio to your paid group. That's it. It's like from here to here, straight line. And then the other tip that they gave, and it was really mind blowing. There's some like absolute goats on that platform. For example, the serious French guy, I think he's at like maybe 350k MR, something like that. Top level. Like, bear in mind, it's like 9% profit margins. 50% of his sales, last time I checked on the Skool News, was from affiliates. So if you can create a system as well where you can train everyone in your community to promote your group, they make money, you make money, then I think you're unstoppable.
The Skool commissions are really good.
And the system is
30%?
Yeah, so you can set it as like 40% if you want. It's literally like they just click on the profile, grab the affiliate link, promote. That's it.
That's a solid one. How do you handle criticism that comes with visibility? Because you are all over the internet, especially in the internet marketing space. I bet there's so much you had to deal with. But with each year, I've only seen you post more. So how did you handle criticism with more reach that you were getting?
Yeah, the worst hate that I got was when my websites got clapped. And there was a lot of negativity from the latest Google update last year in March. And then it kind of felt like a lot of it was pushed towards me. The way that I dealt with it was I try and look at it as hate only comes from below. So it's not like Warren Buffett is commenting on my YouTube videos saying, you're an idiot, mate. And if it was, then fair enough. I'd probably reflect and maybe change some of the content I got. But if it's just like random trolls on the internet or keyboard warriors who would never say that to my face in person, then I don't really care. And then also, it's just a sign that I'm getting bigger and I'm doing big things. Because if I wasn't getting attention, then I wouldn't get any hate. And probably what I was doing was not worth doing. And I also think as well, like, no matter what you do, people are going to hate you. Even if I give away a free book or all my best courses, or if you gave away your whole link building business for free as a template online, you'd still get some sort of hate if it reached enough people. So it's one of those, like, I can't control it. People are going to love me. Some people are going to hate me. And the other thing I would say is like polarization. I used to write a lot of music. One of the best tips I got on songwriting was 50% hate your music and 50% love your music. You're polarizing and therefore your music is good. I see content the same way. And also, how can you judge me if you never met me in real life?
Absolutely. This is for everyone who's been worried about getting hate or criticism online. This is the guy who has dealt with it, and he's only like doubled up and connects his reach. That's a very solid tip. I hope this will inspire you to get out there, publish content that you've been worried to put across just because you were worried about criticism. That's a very, very solid tip, mate.
Thanks. I'll leave you this one little tip. So I saw a really good reel the other day. It said, Genghis Khan conquered the world, and you're scared of putting your face on Instagram.
That's a good one. What are your long-term plans for your business? Are you planning to do a exit for your agency and move on to investments or something? Or let's say, what's your 10-year plan when it comes to growing your empire?
My goal is to reach and help as many people as possible. Because when you grow your agency to a certain level, it's not about the money anymore. It's about the impact I can have on the world. So my goal really is, like, right now we reach about 120 million people a year, which is amazing. But I want to get it to 1 billion, because then I know I'm having a serious impact on the world. I went out for lunch yesterday. A couple of lads were speaking on the table next to me about YouTube. And I just chipped in and said, I try this, blah, blah, blah. I try that, whatever. And they were like, man, what's your YouTube? It turned out they both followed me on YouTube already. That's the sort of impact I want. If I can meet people in real life, and what I'm teaching online is not just making us money, but also helping people, that's the main thing. And then for me personally, I see growing a business as a vehicle for personal growth. So even if my business is not growing, I'm growing. Hopefully both are growing. And therefore, it's helping me level up. It's not about the money. It's about who you become along the way. And I never want to retire. I want to keep working and pushing myself as hard as I can. I think like hard work is a goal. Like work as hard as you possibly can, because that's where you feel the most empowered, the most proud. I'm 100% focused on growing the agency as well. It's genuinely painful if I don't grow, like genuinely. So I try and do both.
Do you think Thailand's going to be your long-term home for now?
Yeah, I love Thailand. Like, it's a fantastic place, fantastic people, great culture, easy life. And the more I travel, the more I move around. Went to Tampa, Florida earlier this year, and I went to Japan, and these are fantastic places. But every time I come back to Thailand, nothing compares. You can't beat this. Like, how can you compete?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Julian, I'm so glad we had a chat. I'm glad we didn't touch upon SEO. We talked about everything else about
I was waiting
SEO.
for it. I was waiting for that is SEO dead question, but it didn't come up.
This is exactly what I wanted to learn personally, just the mindset growth and the way you've been growing different things. And that's exactly what we need, because more than becoming a better SEO, I think we need to just become better entrepreneurs with a better mindset. And that's exactly what you share today. So I'm so grateful, man. I hope I'll bump into you sometime soon. If not in Chiang Mai, maybe in Bangkok.
All right. Thanks so much, man. And keep growing yourself.